Hi guys, welcome back. I hope that you are enjoying our reading of Eerie Elementary, The School is Alive. Last time we read chapters 3 all the way up through chapter 6 last week. And this week we are going to read chapters 7 and 8 today, and then 9 and 10 on Thursday. So won't you join me? Chapter 7, the title is called Believe Me. I, Peter Pan, challenge the friendly pirate Noodler to a fight, Antonio yelled. He swung an invisible sword through the air. It was Tuesday morning, and Sam, Antonio, and Lucy were walking to school. They were practicing their Peter Pan lines. But Sam couldn't focus on his lines. He could not stop thinking about what had happened the night before. Antonio laughed. Sam, you have the worst part in the play. You only have a few lines toward the end. And really, who wants to be a friendly pirate anyway? Antonio's not being a very good friend, is he? Huh? Sam said. Sam's not even paying attention, Lucy moaned. This play is going to be a disaster. Everything is going to go wrong. Antonio patted his pocket, smiling. Not as long as I have my lucky sandwich. Antonio and Sam had been friends since kindergarten. And Antonio had always carried a peanut butter and jelly sandwich around in his pocket. That's quirky. Sometimes he carried the same sandwich around for weeks. Sam thought it was a little bit disgusting, but also a little bit awesome. Sam stopped walking. Guys, I really need to tell you something. Sam looked around to make sure no one was nearby. He pulled his friends in close. Remember the quicksand I told you about yesterday? I know you didn't believe me, but after school, more weird stuff happened. I fell asleep while on hall monitor duty. I believe that, Antonio joked. Listen, Sam said. When I woke up, the school was going crazy. I was attacked by the oak tree. Then Mr. Nakobe saved me. But I think he might be a bad guy or something. He's super weird. Antonio frowned. You're losing your mind. Lucy agreed. I'm starting to worry about you, Sam. Sam ran his hand through his hair and said, just you wait until we get to school. You'll see. There's a broken window and busted lockers, and the fire hose is tied in a big knot. When they got to school, Sam rushed past his friends and up the front steps. What he saw blew his mind. What do you think Sam saw? I think you can probably guess. Everything was back to normal. It was like nothing had happened. The fire hose was wound up and the lockers were closed. No, Sam whispered. This doesn't make any sense. Antonio gently punched Sam in the arm. You should really get more sleep. Your nightmares sound serious. Ring! The morning bell rang and everyone began filing into class. The huge window in Ms. Grinker's class wasn't broken. Even the old oak tree looked normal. This was a regular Tuesday morning, but not for Sam. Sam wanted answers, and he thought he knew where to get them. But first, Sam, hurry up, Lucy said, running into class. Sam groaned. He had to check the halls and then get to class too. His answers would have to wait. Chapter 8, Into the Darkness. As soon as the bell rang for recess, Sam went looking for Mr. Nakobe. He spotted him outside the janitor's closet. Sam watched Mr. Nakobe open the closet door. Mr. Nakobe looked both ways down the hall, like he was afraid he was being watched. Then, very slowly, the old man reached into the dark closet. He grabbed hold of a dim, swinging light bulb. Mr. Nakobe tugged twice on the light bulb. Broom! There was a low rumbling noise as the rear wall of the closet began to move. A secret door, Sam thought. Mr. Nakobe stepped through. Sam swallowed. Sweat was pouring off his brow. He needed to know the truth about Eerie Elementary. This was his chance. Sam darted across the hall. He closed the closet door behind him. Then he leapt through the secret doorway. Sam found himself in a large room with punching bags, pieces of old lockers, and school chairs with 3 legs. The room was dark and it smelled wet. Sam Graves, Mr. Nakobe said. I've been waiting for. Sam cut him off. What happened last night? And how is everything back to normal? I know I didn't imagine all that stuff. Mr. Nakobe said, You imagine nothing. Place your hand against the wall, Sam, and focus. Sam frowned. You're nuts. Do you want to know the truth or not? Mr. Nakobe said. Sam sighed, then placed his palm against the cool brick wall. The room grew quiet. Then he heard it, the soft sound of air blowing, and he felt it. The great wall was gently swaying. It was like the school was breathing. Sam backed away from the wall. What's happening? He stuttered. Mr. Nakobe walked towards Sam. As his face passed through the shadows, he looked almost inhuman. Eerie Elementary is alive, Mr. Nakobe said. Sam shook his head. That can't be. That's impossible. Mr. Nakobe continued. This school is a living, breathing thing. It is a beast, a monster. And there is only one person who can keep its students safe. Who? Sam asked softly. Mr. Nakobe stooped down until he was face to face with Sam. You, Sam Graves, the hall monitor. And that is the end of chapter 8. Please come back on Thursday where we will read chapters 9 and 10. I hope you're having a great summer. Keep on doing those fun activities. If you are going on a vacation, enjoy a day on the beach for me, for both of us. And I hope to see you next time. Thanks for tuning in. Thanks for joining me. Bye.